So, hello everyone. I'm just returned back home from my photo trip this morning that actually turned out to be more like a sound recording trip, but that's another story. Today I'm going to share with you what I'm carrying around in this photo backpack and also why I am carrying so much even though I just go one day in the forest. You will see there's a lot of things that I don't really need, but I'll tell you why I'm carrying it around anyway. Before we get started, I want to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this video and some other upcoming videos where I'm sharing my tips and techniques for photography, nature photography, wildlife photography. So if you want a website, go to squarespace.com//Morten Hilmer. I'll put a link in the description. But let's get started and unpack this fellow here. First of all, I'm just going to take the things out, and at the same time, now everything is a little upside down. Tell you what I'm using it for. Here is my little vlogging camera that I destroyed 2 days ago. I basically banged it down something and now it's broken. Here I'm using the Polar Pro, the Peter McKinnon edition ND filter, because you know, I can't overdo it. I'm not like a filmmaker. I hope to to become one, but I'm practicing. But this one is really good for that, and it has this rubber. If I've had this on, it would not have happened. So now I need to repair my 2470 Nikon S that I use on the SIT6. This is my vlogging camera, and you can see there's a lot of duct tape around everywhere. I'm probably going to make a video why I've customized this camera as I have. I've put it in a little peak design, like quick release on my belt here, so that I easily can get it up if that's necessary. Let's just put things out here. On the front of the backpack I have my tripod, like my Gitzo tripod. It's an old model, it does not exist anymore. And on top I have my Manfrotto head. I'll put a link in the description to most of these things, but it really doesn't matter, I think, what I use, because it's just what fits my need. Yeah, but I have this system so I can put it into level. Let's say if my legs are like this, I can quickly do like that and I get it more or less up in level. Yeah. Whoop. And on top I have a converter system so that I can put my 600 directly here instead of using these weird Manfrotto plates. I prefer to use Arca style on all my equipment because it just makes it easier. So that was the tripod, and this bag is, as it's packed now, it's 35 kilo. But there's one very good thing, and that is like when I hike in the forest or along the beach or something like that, I usually have my 600 here and the tripod here or there, because it's just really nice to carry things and have your arms free so you don't have to hold everything, and that makes it possible for me to take up the little camera and make some photos without having to struggle with all these things. My binocular, I always carry that either around my neck or in the top. Here on the top I have my 600mm, and the backpack, I said, is about 35 kilos. But the moment I get out where I start photographing and I need to kneel down and get up, when I take this is around 6 kilo altogether, a little more. This one is around 4 kilos. So these two things taking off the backpack, it's only 25 kilo, and that's just a really nice weight to walk around with. But yeah, these two things. Yeah. In this little pocket on the front I only have light things, and that's a good reason for that, but that's more like a packing thing. In this one I have things that I just need access to very quickly, and things that does not weigh a whole lot. My sensor cleaning equipment, batteries, as you numbered, so I know these one are new, this one is upside down with a white number pointing down, so I know that's a used battery. I have my coffee cup, let's put that here. I have a little light so that when it gets dark I can still see something, and I have my memory cards. Usually if I put down my backpack, I take these two things in my pocket before I move on. That was this little pocket. Let's go to this side. Ooh. I think we should have a cup. I've started to use my little wooden cup because sometimes the plastic cup, when I leave my coffee there for a little while and it gets cold, it tastes weird of plastic. It's better with a wooden cup. So yeah. And after all, I'm Nordic, so why shouldn't I drink of a wooden cup with a little leather around? I got this as a gift from a friend. I'm really happy with it. And it can hang in my little, where is it? Here, my little cup hanger. I don't know if you can see it. Cheers. Oh, this is coffee with milk. I love coffee with milk on it, or cream. No. Yeah, my axe. Why do I bring an axe? It will make more sense later on in the backpack when we get to here. But just because it's nice to have when I want to set up a little camp in the evening. So why do I bring it now when I just go out for like a few hours and then back? I'll come back to that. Very essential little thing. Maybe this should not be the thumbnail for the video. Oh, yeah, let's just put it. Toilet paper. It's really nice to have. It's really not nice not to have. The other side of the backpack, my little 50mm. I sometimes use that for vlogging. And here, my Mavic 2 drone. I know it's not so safe here, but I just really don't like to have these big boxes with a lot of empty space in them. And this one is just, yeah, it barely fits. I have my, I think it's called Cinema Edition, ND filters for my drone, remote control, like 2 batteries, and the drone itself. And it's really nice because I can just take this one. If I'm going to fly with the drone, I can take this one, and if I'm, on off with the drone, I just take this one, put it here next to the tripod or on the side, and then I have access to it without having to go into any pockets. So that's really nice too. The top lid I use not to put too much in here, because it is it's one of the best places for like quick access, and it's one of the best places for putting like a lens or like a little camera, something that I don't want to have hanging, like here, my binocular. If I don't need it, I can put it here, and the top of the backpack is a really good place for having some of the heavy equipment. So yeah. When I have my backpack and I need my Tamron, it's in here. I can go from the side without having to open the top of the backpack. And this is just an old Nikon case that I have. It doesn't really fit that well, but I need it in this one when and the lens hood is inside. When I'm going to use that and I'm not hiking around, if I know there's a chance that I want to use this, I either put this one around one of the sides here, or I basically take my drone, put it in here, and put this one in the side pocket, because that's really nice. And if I'm using this one, I put the 600 on top, as when we started the video. So yeah, holy moly, it's getting crowded down here. You're probably looking forward to hearing why I bring all this when I'm not going to use most of it. So here, next up is water, and here is this one. I'm looking for a replacement, so if anyone has a good suggestion I would love to hear. But the most important thing is that it has these measurements or a little smaller. Because this one is very important for me. It is around 23 centimeters here, and around, this one is about 35 on the long, and I would like it to be that size or tiny bit smaller, because I use this quite a lot. I can have it in my backpack, and I can also, if I need to pack for a day trip from my base camp or like my little bushcraft camp, I can have this over my shoulder, bringing the drone and some other stuff. So before we get into this one, I want to take a few moments to talk about Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one platform for building professional looking websites. And I really like it because, first of all, it's all under one hood. Everything just works seamlessly. And it's very simple. It's like drag and drop. There are a lot of templates. And for me, it's very important when I make a website. Sometimes if I don't have a company doing it for me, I just need to build that website and concentrate on the content and the creative process and uploading photos. I don't want plugins to suddenly not be compatible with a browser or a new theme or something like that. That's what I've been used to. So for my new project that I'm launching this autumn or winter, I'm building the site in Squarespace. But hopefully I will launch it, because there's so many things that are uncertain, and it's something I have done before here in Denmark for friends and photographers here. But I would like to make it more, global. But yeah, more about that later. Let me just talk to you about a few of the things why I have chosen Squarespace for making that particular project. First of all, it's really easy to get started without any knowledge, because it's basically drag and drop. There are a lot of beautiful templates to use as your starting point, and you can easily create galleries or portfolios from these templates that are built in. I also really like how Squarespace has built in everything you need to start selling your prints or other products from your website. So if you think it's time to get a photography website, head over to squarespace.com/Morten Hilmer to start your 14 days free trial, and use the off code Morten Hilmer to get 10% off your first purchase in there. So yeah, that was a little about Squarespace. Let's get back to the whole thing. Whoop. Solar panel for charging my batteries and equipment. I've made a video about that. My macro lens, I'm getting a new one. This one is the very old Sigma 150 2.8. I want a 90mm or 100mm just to make it smaller and lighter, because I don't use it that much. So any suggestions are welcome. It has to be compatible with the Z6 though. A little cup for boiling water when I'm camping. Some food, my turmad, just to have. Usually I buy some fresh food and bring it, but just if I decide, oh, let me stay in the forest and I haven't brought anything, I always have plenty of water and the food, and I'm good to go. My Leatherman for fixing tripods that get loose, all that kind of stuff. Really nice to have. It's always there. My little knife sharpener here, just a little funny thing. Whoop. And this one is for making sparks here when I'm out. Yeah, so that is just so I can light a fire. Of course I also have matches, but yeah, I really like these things, making fire myself without matches. But some strings, some fat wood, some chakra and fire lighting equipment. So yeah, and here in that little bag I have my other lithium batteries for my sound recorder. I have the Anchor power bank. I've made a video covering all this, so there's no reason to go into details. I have my cables, USB-C cables, and my 2 USB-C chargers for the Nikon batteries. Whoop. So yeah, I can either charge them directly from the solar panel, or I can charge the battery pack from the solar charger and then use that later on to charge the batteries. So we are getting there. I forgot one thing up here. I remember that because it said sound recording. Here I have my little Tascam sound recorder, like a field recorder with a winch thing here. And this one is basically because I love recording these sounds out here in nature, and I'm working on a little project that you will see very soon on my YouTube channel. So I hope you look forward to that. No, why should that be there when everything else is here? I will pack this everything afterwards when we are done. So let's get down here. Here is one of the reasons why my backpack is quite heavy now. No, not heavy, but big. My winter and spring sleeping bag. I'm looking so much forward to another 2-3 weeks, because then I can change this out with a much smaller and lighter one. Oh, sorry, small flowers. Oh, no. So let's get to the very bottom of this bag, because here, that's the last thing. Here we go. Jacket. And this is here because it's just easy to get out. I don't want that to be in the bottom of the bag, but more about that in the packing and why I've chosen this bag video that's coming up very soon. My waterproof jacket, it's a Hercule. I like this because the fabric is not that noisy. Of course, it's not as good as wool, which is silent, but this one is not that waterproof. Here we have, no, let's just put it here. Things are stacking up. In this one, I have something you're all familiar with, my 3D camouflage clothes, and some other camouflage like nets and stuff. It's nice and light. Here I have a very lightweight sleeping mat. Here it's without anything. You just, yeah, it's just to, like, what to say, inflate it, and then it's good. And here my green down jacket that I was wearing a lot in Poland. It's really nice in the evening. You don't want the big jacket and it's not raining. I just take it over this wool sweater just to, after sweating and stuff like that. There's nothing better than putting some down on. And then almost as the, I think that's the last thing, my little tarp. It's just like a very lightweight tarp so that I can make a bivouac or a little shelter when I'm out there. So before we get further on, let me find the coffee in this mess, and then let's talk a little about why I'm bringing all this on all this trip, because this probably looks like, I don't know, like a mess, all that equipment, but there's a reason. Like, to be completely honest, this morning I have been using my Z6 on the 600mm, my Binocular, my tripod, and my sound recorder. This is what I've been using. Ah! Sorry, in my mind I thought there was coffee in there. No. So yeah, I've been using my 600mm, the tripod, the Binocular, the sound recorder, memory cards, and batteries. This is what I've been using this morning. So why on earth bring the rest? Yeah, I've also been using the coffee. But why should I bring all the other stuff? It's because when I go on my 3 days trip to the forest to make a little like bushcraft and be out there for 2, 3, 4, 5 days, I need some of the other thing. I need the sleeping bag, I need that one, I need the food, I need the jacket, and I might need a few other things, but this is like the basic kit. And the reason why I'm dragging around with all this are 2 reasons. The most important is that if I am taking around a tiny backpack with, let's say, 8 or 10 kilos, then when I get this one on, it feels like torture. 35 kilo on the back when you're used to dragging around 12, it's not nice. But because I take this on all my trips, I take it when I take a walk with the dog to the ocean out there, I take it when I take a walk in the forest with the dog up there. So I'm carrying this backpack around 4 to 5 times a week, which means that I'm used to the weight, because your back is getting stronger, your shoulders getting stronger, your legs are getting stronger, your ankles are getting stronger. So it's basically just training. That's the main reason why I drag it around, because, you know, when I went to Ellesmere Island, when I went to Poland, I had a lot of equipment because I needed to bring a drone, I needed to bring an extra camera, I needed to bring an extra lens, all that kind of stuff. I needed to bring extra water. So it just adds up weight, and then it's not comfortable. And one thing is for sure with me, that is, if I am exhausted and sweaty and worn out, I cannot make photos, because it's like the motivation and the creativity just it's gone. But by having this extra power, so when I take my backpack on, I just feel, oh yeah, that's my backpack, there's nothing new about that. Then I can put focus on using my binocular, make some photos, and it's really, really nice. The last reason is the more I use the backpack, the more I find better place for locations for the gear. I find new adjustments, I find some modifications I make, and it just becomes really, really good, because this is not a photography bag. You can see that. I'm going to make a video where I'm talking about this particular backpack, why I'm using this over my low pro Traeger, over the F-Stop, the big bags from them, Shin or what it's called, or all the other backpacks out there that I have tried. I have very good reasons for that, and I'm also going to talk about how I pack the bag, the principles of packing a bag correctly, like we learned in the military. And if you have any questions from this video or for the next, please put them in the comments, because I'll have the chance to answer them in the next video. As usually, I have talked way too much, but well, I think it'll be too boring for you to see me repacking the bag. So just feel good about leaving me with a mess, and then go out and and have a good time, or maybe not go out, but just take care, everyone, and looking forward to the next videos, and yeah, see you out there.